I mentioned the other day that people say all the time, it takes all kinds of people to make the world go around. But nobody believes that. Nobody. And I suspect that when I said it, a lot of people realized that was true. We're only allowed to have 2 political parties. Just as an example, I'm not trying to make this a political video, and I'm actually going to get away from it pretty quickly. There's only 2 political parties, and if you're not in my party, you're the danger. People don't really look at a 3 or 4 or a variety of different parties. Just 2. And the other party is insane. Well, it goes deeper than that. And I've been doing a lot of research on this in the last few weeks. As you know, I've been writing a book. And this book has taken me a million different places and ideas. And it has really gotten me, I don't know, to a point where I realize who I am. And all the questions I've ever had about society and myself are coming into focus really clearly. It has even explained why I am on a meat diet. And it really is just genetics. Or you can say God. Whatever you want to say, that's what it is. So there is a gene that has really started to take control in the last 5 or 6 decades. It has become very relevant in society. That gene does all kinds of neat things in our society. It has created the computer, electronics, massive engineering projects. Einstein and Newton had this gene by all historical accounts. Genghis Khan, by all historical accounts, had this gene. Now, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's very prevalent. It used to be just a very few people. Now, this gene goes back to 200, 400,000 years. It is a very old gene, but it got diluted quite a bit. And now this gene is really becoming active. Now, there is a downside to this gene. There are people who are severely restricted by this gene. And it's a terrible thing. But what I've learned is it's because of the toxins in Western society. Seed oils, prescriptions, MSG, you know, not the stuff that you get naturally, the MSG that is manufactured, dyes, all this stuff. So the mother consumes these things, and it causes a fog in the gene, in the brain of the person who has this gene. Now, like I said, this gene was pretty minuscule 5 decades ago. People had the gene, but they may have only had, I say a gene, it may have been 100 different components of the gene. But now it's becoming more saturated. The gene is like 1,000 or 2,000 pieces of the genome. So it's even getting harder to isolate it and remove it. Scientists are wanting to do fetal gene editing, which I'm completely opposed to, because then we lose Einstein and Newton. I mean, Newton is the reason we understand gravity today. And the reason we have, we understand the planets and all that. And I know the flat earthers are going to jump in on this one, but Newton did a lot. He also invented calculus to prove his theories. That's pretty impressive because of this one gene. Einstein gave us relativity. This is why we have satellites. Satellites actually, if you put a clock on a satellite and a clock on our Earth, and they're at the same time, if the satellite comes back down, the clock on the Earth is going to be faster in the future, further in the future, than the clock on the satellite, because it's traveling faster. It's called time dilation. This is Einstein. This is where it came from. We wouldn't have satellites today if it wasn't for Einstein. But today, society is trying to erase this gene. They give medications. Well, the reason they're trying to erase it is because of the severe disabilities that people can have because of it. What I learned, though, is one of the reasons I'm having more troubles socializing, which I know everybody thinks me not being able to socialize is a disability in itself, but it's not. Just a different person. And that's why I started this video with, is it takes all kinds to go around, to make this world go around. And if you're an introvert, the extroverts will attack you. I've said it many times in my life, and I've even said it in earlier videos when I was traveling. It was one of my big topics when I was traveling. But now I realize it's not just introverts and extroverts and all that. It is a gene. It is a person that doesn't think like you, and you cannot make it think like you. So when the child has a disability, I don't want to call it a disability. It's not really a disability. It's just a misunderstanding of how it works. Instead of trying to fix it, the disability, not the gene, the disability of all the toxins that the child received, not on purpose. The mother didn't do anything on purpose. The doctor said, eat this, and the mother took it, trusting the doctor. So the child is disabled now. So then they give the child drugs and make it more disabled. But in actuality, this gene requires a high-fat, high-protein, high-energy diet. It requires meat. It's a meat gene. As a matter of fact, when this gene first developed, that's all that was being eaten at the time. There was no vegetables in that diet. Again, I don't want to give you all the specifics, just giving you a few. And if you want to research a little bit, you might figure it out. It doesn't matter if you figure it out or not. It's just a gene that has survived hundreds of thousands of years. And it has fought very hard to survive. When you really do the research in the history of this gene, it has come close to extinction on many fronts. Volcanoes and diseases, viruses have tried everything to wipe this thing out, and now it has doctors trying to wipe it out. But it just keeps surviving. And as a matter of fact, this gene has quadrupled in the last 50 years, basically 2 generations, its saturation in humans in Silicon Valley, where the technology is being developed. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, California, that's a terrible place. It's not the people with the gene that makes California terrible. It's the people who are fighting the gene is what's making California terrible. I know that's going to be hard to accept, but it's just reality. It is what is happening. So we have the saturation level, and it's expanding and it's growing, and all the while it's being fought tooth and nail. People do not want this gene in existence. And I would bet that if a doctor came up to a mother and said, hey, your child has this gene, and I know how to remove it, the mother would say, yes, remove it. Although, it's quite possible that you just removed Einstein. You've taken Einstein away. Not only that, you took away his free choice, the child's free choice. And I'm writing letters to congressmen over this. I don't want that gene editing. It is dangerous to our society. We lose so much. We're going to lose way too much. So, one of the things that is confusing to me is people themselves and their inability to accept people who are different. I mean, dramatically different. For example, neighbors have a party, and the guy upstairs in the apartment has this gene, and he just wants some peace and quiet. And so he calls the police to say, hey, can you quiet this party down? Well, who's the bad guy here? The guy with the party? No, the guy who called the police. You're not allowed to break up the fun. And most of society will agree with that. Oh, they're just breaking some, having some fun on a Saturday. Just let them have their fun. Not realizing it is causing emotional distress on someone else. So the person with the gene learns over time that they get sensory overloads really bad. I mean really bad. So lights, fluorescent lights are terrible. They're just terrible. Lots of noise, crowded rooms. Imagine a cat. A cat is a perfect example of this gene. A cat will stare at a wall for hours. And you think, what is that cat's problem? It's crazy. No, it's heard a noise. And it's waiting patiently. I mean, better than any social animal could ever wait. Until it sees a mouse and it kills it. Their ears are constantly moving around. Listen to that little noise. Every little movement, they're on guard. I mean, just imagine a cat. Well, that's the sensory level of folks with this gene. It's almost identical sensory level. So, Walmart has decided that they're going to implement from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. a low sensory environment for sensitive, overly sensitive people. They dim the lights a bit. They don't roll carts around on the floor during these hours. No music, and the crowd's usually pretty low. So I go shopping at that time. I have learned that I can't call the police on the party at midnight, but I can go shopping from 8 to 10, and I can be pretty stress-free. Now, what makes my problem even worse is I'm blind in my right eye. So that means that I have to be ultra sensitive on this side of my, so hearing, feeling, those senses that you don't really have an explanation for, the hairs on your back, the neck, back of your neck and all that stuff. Yeah, all that is amplified now because I can't see on my right eye. It's terrible. And so I have this ultra sensory problem, and then I try to amplify senses that I don't understand yet because I don't have one of my senses. It's just really bad. So this morning I go to Walmart, and guess what day it is? Shop with a cop. Oh my goodness. It was absolutely miserable. Now, had I gone up front and complained and said, hey man, this is supposed to be the low sensory hour, who would have been the bad guy? Me! Even though I was following the rules. I went to Walmart during my time, the time that society says, hey, you could go. No, that would not have been what it was. Oh, don't be a Scrooge. This is holiday shopping. Get over yourself. You can deal with it. No, I can't deal with it. I accept that I can't go shopping after 10 a.m. I accept it. I am allowing society to be different than me. But society cannot allow me to be different than them. So, people criticize me for being here and alone. But this is why. Society does not want to adapt to anything that is different. If you are an introvert, or more specifically, if you have this gene, they don't want you different. And they want to control you. And will make matters worse, then they pollute your body or your mother's body to make you disabled with this gene. Then they say the gene is the problem, not the food. The gene. The gene is what's caused it. It's not the gene that's caused it. The gene is more susceptible to this pollution, but that is not the cause. It's the pollution. And there's actually some studies, even people without this gene have effects from these pollutants also, but that's beside the point. Another thing is diet soda. A mother drinks diet soda, that can cause it. But it is being proven that the meat diet can help, and it's helped me. I used to have a 125 IQ, and now it's at about 155. I think it was 154. And I'm so much clearer. Now that also means that my sensory overloads are a lot more. I mean, a lot more. But even doctors will say, doctors who believe in the carnivore diet, that the brain fog goes away when you start eating meat. And so when you connect the dots, you're like, huh, yeah, that makes sense. The fog's going away. Well, if you are overloaded with the fog from bad diets and during the time that you were a fetus and you could eat meat, I'm not a doctor, I'm not suggesting you should do this. I'm saying this is what worked for me. But if you can eat meat, it might clear some of that brain fog. It's been an interesting few weeks for me researching this book, and it really has opened up my world to make me understand better. Society is not going to accept me. Society is actively trying to erase me. Society is actively trying to erase Einstein and people like Einstein, actively. So I guess I'm going to jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video where I was working on something on my other channel, I would appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you to clear the fog so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.